Oh,
And
look at I do that. First thing I do. Hey, everybody. We are here together. This is so exciting.
live streams, aren't they grand, huh?
Yes. Yes, Hidden Gems is here together. We're so excited. And Ryan was kind enough to come and visit. This is so fun.
Yeah, this is my first vacation legitimately in 4 years. The last time I went anywhere was Germany, Munich, Germany in 2018. Literally 4 years to this day is when I flew out there. And it's crazy to think about time. You know, they say time's a flat circle and all that.
Yeah, yeah. So what's your first thoughts of Utah? You're here.
Oh, this place is gorgeous. I mean, I'm a sucker for the mountains. I mean, I think when we were out today, I stopped you like 2 or 3 times. I need to take a mountain photo. Can I take a mountain photo, please? And it just a beautiful place.
Yeah. It really is gorgeous. And you forget when you live here, sometimes you forget and you take it for granted. And every once in a while I'll sort of be driving along and I'm like, wow, those are really pretty.
Yeah, it happens when people visit Florida because I love the beach. The beach is outstanding. However, I do indeed take it for granted when people are like, the beach is so beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I see it like every day almost.
Yeah. Well, and there's so many things that you only do when you're visiting a place or when you have company coming into town. I mean, I was telling Ryan today that a bunch of the stuff that we've already done, I've never done before. We went to Thanksgiving Point, and they have a dinosaur museum and this dinosaur island thing. That was really fun. I'd never done any of that before. I thought about it, but I never done it.
It was really, really cool. And
Yeah.
I don't know what they made to do to those animatronics, but
They were fun.
those people deserve a raise.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. And it was so hot, almost 100 degrees.
It's 95 by the time we left.
Yeah.
So,
By the
but
time we left.
at least it wasn't humid, which that was the thing that kept me going. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, this is somewhat bearable. At least it's not like you're walking through a sauna.
Yeah. And it was really cute because this very nice family volunteered to let us use to be on their golf cart, which was a huge blessing. And these two little boys were so cute, and they knew every single dinosaur.
Yeah, they were obsessed.
Yeah.
They got the dinosaur kick.
Yeah. They're like, and they would correct me. I said one was a stegosaurus, and he's like, no.
No, it's this.
Yeah.
And one of them, I think the older one would run out to see if it was safe or not.
Yeah.
They'd be like, it's all good. I'm like, thank you.
They say, are you smarter than a fifth grader? Not when it comes to dinosaurs.
Apparently not.
Yeah. And we got some comments that dinosaur place sounds like the closest we'll ever get to a real Jurassic Park, that in the Universal theme park.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It was really fun. They had a danger rating and a hunger rating on each one. And then they had signs like, don't go over the rope, don't touch the dinosaur, which kind of added to the feeling of realism. It was good. It was very well done. I'd go again.
Yeah, not to mention there were these other types of views. There were these views where you would where they were just like, there was this garden called the not the Wall of Life, but the Light of the World garden.
The world.
And that was so beautiful as well.
Yeah, you can tell you're in Utah because there was, in the middle of this dinosaur park, there's this Jesus park.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, whoa, there's a lot of Jesuses here. Not that I'm complaining. I was just sitting there like, oh, okay, this is different.
Yeah, that was really funny. And and they had, in the gift shop, they had a bunch of Jesus ornaments and Jesus. Like, only, and like, you usually don't think Jesus and dinosaurs together.
Oh, when you're in Florida, if you go into certain stores, you can't go 2 feet without running into something from either Tommy Bahama or something that says you're a lifeguard, even though you're not really a lifeguard.
Right. And how are you feeling about tomorrow? We're doing the big Great Salt Lake swim tomorrow, 1 mile in the Great Salt Lake. How are you feeling?
I'm just of the attitude where I just want to go. I just want to go and get it done
Yeah.
because I've trained for this every day for about a couple months now, or almost every day within my schedule.
Yeah.
And it just, I'm raring to go.
Mm-hmm. Good. It's going to be fun. I mean, I've done it 5 times, so I know that I can do it. It is a hard thing. But that's part of the reason why it feels so good to actually do it, because you know that you did something hard, and it'll be something you'll always be able to tell people that you swam the Great Salt Lake Marathon swim.
Everyone that I've told has been like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I clearly underestimated what a big deal this was.
Yeah. It's going to be something you'll never forget. I say it's fun. We call the lake the Devil Lake because it's just so salty, but but the feeling is very exhilarating when you finish. And and I am super slow, so you'll definitely finish far faster than me. But it's good. I'm kind of sad because I won't be doing my the Deer Creek is the second race of the season, and well, they have one in what's it called, Bear Lake. They have one in Bear Lake in July, and then they have one in Deer Creek in August. And Deer Creek's my favorite. It's such a fun race. But I will be at Christmas Con this year. I'm actually going. I just got my ticket. I got a great deal. I was so excited. Only $138 flying to Los Angeles from Salt Lake. That was a really good price. And so I'm going to be there for 10 days, which is crazy. And I'm excited because I'm going to be there for that, for Christmas Con. And then I'm also going to be there for the
D23.
Well, that's actually in September. And then I'm going to be there for the HCA TV Awards. So that should be fun. And I'm hoping to get to tour like Hallmark and get to meet with some of them. We'll see.
It's crazy that they haven't hired you yet, considering how much free advertising you give them, essentially, and review like 95% of their stuff.
Right. But I already have a meeting scheduled with Hallmark Publishing, and she said she might be able to help me out with Hallmark.
There you go.
Anyway, so I'm excited. But yeah, and we're going to see 4 shows because there's lots of musical theater. You know this if you're following me on social media here in Utah. And today we're going to see West Side Story. So that should be really fun.
I will always be there for West Side Story. It doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where. I will stop and watch it.
Yeah, yeah. And at least the publicity for this on their Instagram, it's called the Hope Box Theater. It looks really good. I'm very excited for it. And they have a Hope Box recipient every single show, where they pick somebody who's fighting cancer, and they help the proceeds. Some of the proceeds go to helping them, and they ask for donations and things like that. It's just really, really cool. And tonight will be the opening night, so that's always fun.
Yeah, good on them folks for doing that.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah. We do have the super chat open if anybody feels so inclined. But yeah, so we're going to see West Side Story. We're going to see Hunchback of Notre Dame. And then Grease and Singing in the Rain. So that's pretty good variety.
Yeah, and I mean, can't go wrong with any of those choices. I was telling Rachel in the car earlier that I was like, is this based on the movie Hunchback of Notre Dame? How are they going to handle Frollo? And you tell me that they tone him way down, which, I mean, yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't necessarily tone him down, but they make him, I think, a better written character. They give him more motivation. You understand where not where he's coming from, but you see he's not just like evil from the beginning. There's more of a transformation in his character. They handle the gargoyles way better, in my opinion, than the movie. They're still there, but they're better.
Well, I still love that movie just for Tom Hulse. I think he's
Yeah,
awesome
he's
as
so good.
Quasimodo.
Yeah. And the animation is absolutely beautiful in
Oh,
it.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So, and we're going to go to the drive-in, which should be really fun. There's still a really pretty busy drive-in here called the Redwood Drive-In, and in Salt Lake. That's a lot of fun. And the only thing that's kind of annoying is they're not doing double releases right now. So I'm hoping that we can, if we're feeling up to it, because it is pretty late, but if we because that's part of the fun of a drive-in is you get to see 2 movies instead of seeing the same movie twice.
Yeah, well, at least I get to see Top Gun 2 again, which is still my favorite movie of the year so far, and I don't think anything's going to knock it off the perch for quite a while.
Yeah.
When I get back to Florida, I was thinking of making a top 5 movies of the year so far. It's like Top Gun and everything else, pretty much.
It was in my top 5 as well. It's really, really excellent. And Jacob says The Hunchback is top 5 Disney for me. And I know it is for a lot of people. So it's definitely one of the riskiest that they ever did, which is cool. So, so that's going to be fun. Seeing Singing in the Rain. Singing in the Rain is at Hale Theater, which is definitely like the biggest, most professional of any of them. The office is most expensive too, but it should be super fun. It should be a good one.
Yeah, and I love me some Singing in the Rain. Singing in the Rain, the movie is just outstanding. Like Gene Kelly, Gene Shepard, I can't remember his friend Cosmo.
Donald O'Connor.
Him, he's awesome. And just like I'm sure you knew this, but did you know that when Gene Kelly filmed the Singing in the Rain scene, he was like sick, like he had like 104 to 5-degree fever? So he was like dancing in all that cold water and like dumping rain on himself while he was like sick. Like so that really does speak to him.
That's amazing. Yeah, and there's so many good little moments in Singing in the Rain. Like I love the whole "You Are My Lucky Star." I love that whole.
I love.
You are my lucky star. I saw you from afar.
I love that one, and I also love when Don and Lena are trying the microphone for the first time and they have to hide it in the bushes.
Oh yeah,
and it is like oh Don, never love so deeply.
I can't make love to a bush. We got Aaron says Hunchback is a good movie, but Tony J as Frollo is probably the oddest character in the film compared to the more fun characters in the film, like Quasimodo, Phoebus, and Esmeralda.
That's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely odd, I guess. Odd and evil.
That's one way.
Yes. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Grease. I mean, I'm not like the hugest Grease person, but this has worked out perfect because I had picked Grease for my teen movie month. And I mean, I love the songs. The songs are really fun. And this is a great company that we're going to see, Grease. And I think it's going to be fun. We're going to do for family movie night, we're going to review both the show and the movie. So that will be fun. Contrast them.
I've been hot and cold on Grease in my life. I think I'm not a big fan of the "Look at Me, I'm Sandra Dee" number. I hope I'm not the only one on this because I don't know. It just always rubbed me the wrong way, and I can't put my finger on why.
Well, it's kind of mean.
Yeah, that has something to do.
And
with
then
it.
Also, I just don't love the ending with her becoming the bad girl to please a man. I don't really love that plot. I mean, he changes too, but I don't know. Not my favorite, but the songs are super catchy. And this is a great company that we're going to see it at the Ziegfeld Theater. They were one of my favorites last year in this show called Bright Star. It was so good. So well done. The sets, the singing. I mean, Bright Star is one of my all-time favorite shows. I think it's super underrated. It's actually written by Steve Martin, believe it or not.
That Steve Martin?
Yeah, that Steve Martin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I just, it's so beautiful. It's such a great book. It's such a great story. The songs are so good. It's, like I said, super underrated. it did have a run on Broadway, but it deserved longer, and I just love it. Anyway, they did a great job at Ziegfeld last year, so I think they'll do a really good job with Grease, and so it should be fun. A nice break after our swim.
Yeah, for real.
So let's see here. What I love about Frollo is that even with the horrible stuff he does, he thinks he's doing it for the right reason, a complex character with a God complex.
Yeah.
And I think they make that
true.
even better in the musical as opposed to the movie, because in the movie, it starts out right away with him, basically killing Esmeralda, killing Quasi's mother. And so it starts out already, whereas this, you have the character in the musical, they introduce the character of his brother who falls in love with a gypsy woman. And so they, like I said, they have more backstory. I just think it's better done than the movie. But I see what you're saying. And then also I'm with you on Look at Me, I'm Sandra Dee. It's one of the weaker songs in the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. I think we talked about all four.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's do. I looked up some movie questions I thought would be fun. And if you're watching and you have questions for us, then feel free. So the first question. This is 27 questions. Movie tag. First question: what is your favorite action film?
Oh, I watch a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go with Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That it's the best Mission Impossible movie. Shut up out there. You know I'm right.
It is the best one.
I
agree.
know I am right. You know I am right.
I agree.
It's the one where the team is given like all the curveballs. All their tech fails. They are continually on the back foot, and they just barely make it out with their hair not on fire
Mm-hmm.
and the world exploding. I felt like with Rogue Nation, and Rogue Nation is fantastic. Let's not get that twisted. And Fallout is arguably even better. But those, I never felt like a real sense of, okay, maybe Fallout, the ending, that was definitely gripping. But
yeah,
I always felt like they were always like at least going to be in control by
the stakes aren't the same. I that's a good pick. It's my favorite of that franchise as well.
Not to mention, you can't go wrong with the Burj Khalifa scene.
Favorite action movie is tough because there's so different kinds of action, but I think, I don't know, maybe either the Avengers or Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think probably one of those.
Raiders is a solid choice.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the original Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's
one of my favorites. It has the heart to me. All right. Next question. What is your favorite dark humor or black comedy?
Oh.
I'm not the biggest fan of black comedies, dark humor. Usually I don't love it, but
I've seen Blazing Saddles a ton, and I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein, that's up there for me, if that counts.
Yeah, I would count that as well.
That's one of my favorites. I feel like there's a big one that I like that.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
I don't know if that counts. It has moments of dark humor.
Yeah.
Like the Black Knight, which is so
Bring
funny.
out your dad. Yeah. I'm not dead.
Maybe, I don't know if the Grand Budapest Hotel counts. Maybe that.
I would count it.
Yeah, that one's, I think, pretty good. Off the top of my head, yeah, I think I'd say that. Maybe Beetlejuice. Maybe?
Oh, that's a solid choice there.
Yeah. All right. Next up is what is your, let's see here, favorite comedy film? Just plain comedy film. That would be Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That's my favorite comedy film.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that choice. I'll second you on that.
All right. Yeah, it's so good. All right. Next. Let's see. Jacob says, I'm more of a Fallout person for Jurassic. I mean, for, I don't know, does Jurassic Park count as an action movie?
I wouldn't personally.
That's one of my favorites. Let's see. How is it going, Jacob? Glad you made it safe. Hello, Rachel. I'm at work. So just saying hi. Favorite dark humor is Heathers or Very Bad Things, both starring Christian Slater.
Shout out to you, Aaron. Always leaving the best comments on my videos.
And then Richard said, Coen Brothers stuff is good. Barton Fink, Burn After Reading. Yeah, that's a good call. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, that's a good one, too.
That would be a good one. Okay, so then we have favorite, let's see, I'll skip that one. So favorite animated film. Boy, that's a tough one.
I think you'll need a minute on that one. Or actually, Little Mermaid?
Oh. Well, for a long time, I've said Your Name is my favorite.
Oh, I should have went with Your Name.
But definitely Little Mermaid is the most nostalgic film for me, animated film. So can't go wrong with that, or Beauty and the Beast. Those would definitely be the top three, for sure.
Yeah, for me, that's a toughie. Toy Story 2 is definitely up there. Jacob just said in the chat, Lion King. That's definitely another one.
High.
Toy Story 2 is just phenomenal. Like, it's my favorite Pixar movie, and I will die on the hill that is the best Pixar movie, because without Toy Story 2, 3 and 4 would not happen. Mm-hmm. And that, like, everything is based around 2 from this point forward.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, all 4 of those movies, to me at least, especially the 3, are just about perfect. So it's very tough. But yeah, I mean, I love Up. That's one of my favorites. I love Inside Out.
The first 10 minutes. Ooh.
Yeah. But I love also the ending. When he sees Ellie's note to him in the book, it's to me, that's as powerful as the beginning.
Yeah.
But I love Up. I know a lot of people seems like don't like it anymore, but I do. I love Prince of Egypt. That would definitely be in my top 10. I love the Song of the South. Not Song of the South, Song of the Sea.
I was going to say, wait up, dang.
Song of the Sea, Tom Moore. I love that movie. And Wolfwalkers, I loved. That was so good. It's been a great year, actually, 2022 for animation. I mean, we've had, even though I didn't love Turning Red, pretty much everything else has been really surprising. Oops, sorry. I really enjoyed the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. That was really funny. I really enjoyed Bob's Burgers, which I wasn't expecting to enjoy that, but it was actually really funny. And I liked Lightyear. So far it's been pretty good for animation.
Yeah. Well, here comes Minions: The Rise of Gru to kill the streak.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And Jake Martin says Beauty and the Beast is close. Yeah, it's so good. So good. All right, next question is, what is your favorite short?
Favorite short?
Short film, yeah.
Ooh.
It's tough.
Oh man, would I honestly am not sure.
I think it's hard. I have a lot of favorites. I think probably Lava from Pixar is probably my favorite.
I remember that one. Wasn't that attached to Moana?
I think so, or it was right around that time that it came out. I loved Lava. I Lava You. And I also really enjoyed Jerry's Game.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Good one.
Yeah.
Aaron asks us, any chance you've watched and enjoyed Breakfast at Tiffany's? I always wanted to watch it. Watched it the other day. Loved it. Always loved the song Moon River. So if you were to go down into my living room, you'd see I have a whole poster. I have a wall of 3 different posters from Audrey Hepburn movies, including Breakfast at Tiffany's. I admit that it is flawed film as far as the Mr. Yoga Moshi, whatever, performance. That's not great. But everything else I love. I love that I think she's a really interesting character, Holly Golightly. In fact, I did a whole blog post years ago about, it was a character profile on Holly Golightly. and I think she's really interesting. And I love their dynamic between her and I can't think of his name all of a sudden. But anyway, I love that whole dynamic. Fred, who she calls Fred. Paul. It's Paul. Paul, who she calls Fred. I love Breakfast at Tiffany's. I think it's great. But I know some people that's just too hard to overcome, Mr. Yogonoshi. But there we go. And I love Moon River. Two drifters wider than enough. Yeah, it's so good. All right. Let's see. Next question. Other short films I love. I loved Us Again last year. That was one of my favorite movies of the whole year. I love Paper, the Paperman one, and I love Feast. That one's one of my favorites too. I can't think of non-animated ones. I'm sure there's some really good ones with it. I can't think of it. All right. Next, we have favorite biographical film. So biopic.
Walk the Line is among
that's
them.
up there for me too.
I've recently come around to Darkest Hour, the Joe Wright directed one about Winston Churchill. I love that subway scene where he asks like the people should say if Mr. Hitler offers us security, what do you say? And everyone was like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good scene. And Gary Oldman, he's had some bombs in the past. Let's not get that twisted. But when he is on, especially here, he's fantastic.
And Aaron says, I know, but I don't think Brittany was making fun, but not appropriate. Yeah, I think that's fair.
The only thing I really know about that movie is because of that. And it's a shame. I should really see it sometime because I've heard nothing but good things outside of that.
I think probably even though it's a very loose biopic, probably the best biopic I've ever seen is probably Amadeus. It's not really real, so I don't know if it counts. Like, it's all kind of made up, but I think it's so good. It's so well done.
The way I've always seen it is that everything involving Mozart is true. Everything involving Salieri is false.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of blend together a little bit, but I think that movie's excellent.
Oh, that movie's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Walk the Line would definitely be up there as far as it's probably my favorite musician thing, biopic. What others do I like?
I don't know if this counts, but Miracle is a good one about the 1980
Oh yeah, there's
US
some good
hockey
sports
team.
ones if those count.
Disney from like the early noughties did like a solid string of sports biopics, like Miracle, Greatest Game Ever Played, Remember the Titans. I'm misremembering all of them, but they were like, all right, let's just do sports movies for the 2000s, and they did, and they were mostly great.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have what is your favorite music-themed film? I think I got to go with Sing Street is my favorite music-themed film. So not just like a musical, but a movie about music and musicians. And
oh, I got you.
Yeah. So I think I would say Sing Street. I absolutely love that movie.
For me, I don't know. I don't think I have one.
Yeah, I mean, Walk the Line would be also pretty high. I like the recent Star is Born.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I think of any other ones. I mean, I like all of John Carney's films, which are all about music, and those are like Once and Begin Again, I think is what it's called. The one with Keira, there's one with Keira Knightley. I think it's called that. But anyway, I just really like his movies a lot. There's one that I think was really underrated. That's kind of tangentially about a musician. It's called Juliet Naked, and I think a lot of people heard that title and thought, "Oh, it's like something's
dirty,
risque," but it's really not. It is rated R, but it's more for language. That's the name. Ethan Hawke plays this musician, this rock star who he's kind of gone away from the music scene, but Rose Byrne is dating this man who is like super fan of Ethan Hawke's character, and his big album is called Juliet Naked, and so that's why it has that title. And it was such a good movie. It was based on a Nick Hornby novel, and those usually are really good. I love About a Boy and Fever Pitch, and he's just a good writer. And this had so much to say about fandom and passion and why we do what we do. And I thought it was very underrated. And so if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's really good. Okay. Next we have favorite sci-fi film.
Oh, Oh, wow. I think I'd have to go Empire Strikes Back on that one. That movie is so good.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I mean, some people say, well, that's fantasy, not sci-fi. But I think I would probably, if I was,
Well,
I don't, it depends on the definition, but I think I would probably say Back to the Future is probably my favorite, if it counts.
One of my favorite, like, hard sci-fis is this little movie called Gattaca. It
That's a good one.
starred Ethan Hawke, Jude Law, and Uma Thurman. It was written by Andrew Niccol, who has written a lot of things that you all probably like, but don't know who Andrew Niccol is.
Yeah, like yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
He wrote The Truman Show. Peter Weir directed it, but Andrew Niccol wrote the screenplay for The Truman Show.
Yeah.
But Gattaca is fantastic, and not enough people talk about it.
I don't know if Jurassic Park counts as sci-fi. Does that count as sci-fi?
I would say so.
A lot of scientists in it.
I would say so, yes.
Then that would probably be my favorite then. I mean, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park. I mean, if I was going like what I think of as like true sci-fi, maybe something like WALL-E would also be high up on the list. Okay. Next, favorite indie film. Ooh. And that's a tough one. But I mean, probably Sing Street is probably my favorite indie film, or Song of the Sea.
Oh, wow. Song of the Sea. Blair Witch Project is up there. I'm a big fan of that. A lot of people are not, and I get it, but I've always thought the last 15 minutes are just like nail biters.
Aaron agrees. Gattaca was great. And then Richard says, Gattaca's soundtrack is better than the actual movie. I listened to it for inspiration.
Yeah, I can see that. The soundtrack in there is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Favorite book adaptation.
Jurassic Park, Silence of the Lambs, Shawshank Redemption.
Those are all good. There's some that I did a whole video on movies that I think are better than the books.
Jaws.
I haven't read Jaws, but I've heard that from everybody.
I did read Jaws, and that is the undisputed truth. There is a subplot where Matt Hooper and Ellen Brody have a thing. That was thankfully cut from the movie. And Hooper dies in the book.
I think Mary Poppins is far better than the book. The movie is much better.
Even though P.L. Travers hated it, if Saving Mr. Banks proves anything.
Yeah, so she was wrong, in my opinion. I also love Clueless, and I think that, that's based on Emma, so I think it's a really clever adaptation of the book. So yeah, those are some. I do think for the most part the Harry Potter movies were pretty good adaptations. I think he actually, Stieg Plovis, I think he actually in a lot of ways improved over the books for most of them. So okay. Films you want to see but never have gotten around to watching. Well, I have my Blind Spot series that I do every month on my blog, where I review a movie that's well loved in some ways. I just barely did Mystic Pizza. That was a rom-com, pretty popular, that I had never seen. So that was fun. I try to have some variety in the Blind Spot, not have them all be like Lawrence of Arabia type movies. I try to have some variety, some cult classics and some, things like that. But trying to think, I've seen almost all the animated films that I really want to see at this point, or just all the big ones that I had on my list, like Ghibli. I've seen those.
I've now officially seen all of Ghibli up until the most recent one, which I will not mention because that was bad.
Oh yeah, that was
Off
bad.
the top of my head, Braveheart. I've always wanted to see it, but I never have. I've heard it's amazing, and I've just never gotten around to it.
It's a pretty good movie. Yeah, there's a bunch of from like because I used to not watch R-rated movies, so there's a bunch of movies from like the like kind of late '90s to like 2007, 2008, like that decade when I wasn't really watching rated R movies that I still haven't caught up on. I haven't seen a lot of Scorsese. I haven't seen a lot of Tarantino. I haven't seen a lot of Fincher. So that like a lot of film people, have seen those, but I haven't.
Film Twitter favorites.
Yeah. So okay. Let's see. Next is favorite compilation soundtrack. So not original score, but I think American Graffiti is one of the best. Dazed and Confused is one of the best. Forrest Gump is one of the best.
Baby Driver.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Those are some of my favorites. I love the You've Got Mail soundtrack. That's also one of my favorites. Okay. Did you have one? Do you want to say?
I said Baby Driver,
Baby Driver.
And Boogie Nights is a good one. Just if not for anything else, but Best of My Love in the opening.
Yeah. All right, films you can't wait to come out. We finally are kind of finished with all these ones that have gotten delayed.
Yeah, Minions 3 is going to be like the one that wraps up the cycle, so to speak.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, Avatar 2. I saw the teaser. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited too.
I think it might be promising. Like, I mean, if this is the thing that James Cameron's been working on for like the entire human decade that he's been working on, then maybe he was on to something.
Yeah, there's a new Makoto Shinkai movie coming out, Who Did Your Name? So I'm always going to be really excited for that. Obviously I'm always excited for the new Disney film, Strange World. We got a teaser, so that was fun. I do have to say one positive thing about the first Minions movie, the soundtrack is actually really good.
Yeah.
They spent a fortune on all these songs. So there you go. Well, it's not a compilation, but I do really like both of the Sing soundtracks as well. Those are both really good. All right. Next question is, what is the best tearjerker?
Ooh. 2012 Les Miserables for me.
Mm-hmm. It's a one I like. It gets a lot of flack, but I like it.
The 1950s Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim. The scene where he says, "Would you ever forgive me? I have been a fool who has had no eyes to see and no ears to hear for all these years." I'm getting welled up just thinking.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's a Wonderful Life. That's a lot of people kind of forget that it's about someone that's going to commit suicide.
Yeah,
because it's so part of Christmas and it's Jimmy Stewart and everything, but it's really pretty dark when you think about it.
Yeah, it's like he's like death is giving him a free trial to see how he likes it, and he doesn't.
It's easy to say something like like Schindler's List or something like that. Obviously, this make you cry.
The Schindler's List, the ending of Schindler's List, when he's like, "I could have done more. I could have done more," and he just freaking collapses. Brutal. Oh God.
Well, and when they show that the red coat,
the girl in the red coat, yeah.
Oh. But I don't really think, for some reason, I think of war movies and it's like a different. I don't think of those as tearjerkers. I don't know. I feel like they're their own genre. But yeah, I mean, I think. There's a lot, of course, romantic tearjerkers. But I'm trying to think which one is my favorite of the romantic tearjerkers. I like, it's not like a great movie, but I like A Walk to Remember, I think is the best of those kind of like tearjerker, Nicholas Sparksian movies. And I think Mandy Moore's good in it. And I don't know, that's one that comes to mind. Okay. What is a remake you wish had never been made?
Oh, we've got all day on that
Yeah.
one. Uh, well, hmm.
I mean, it's Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like it.
You can
It's
pretty
not for
much
me.
put most, if not all, of the Disney live action remakes
Yeah,
in there.
and that Lion King. Lion King.
Home Sweet Home
Yeah,
Alone.
that's a good one. Oh my
Perfect.
gosh,
Perfect.
that's a good one.
That movie made me angry, and it made me feel so sorry for the
Yeah.
dude. I was like, can we get this man a doctor? He clearly has a head injury. You people are monsters.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of terrible horror remakes, but or horror entries in franchises and things, but I'm just
heard
not in that scene well enough to know.
I've heard the Gus Van Sant Psycho is
Oh, that's a
pretty
good one.
bad.
That's a good
I
one.
haven't seen it, but I've heard it's just literally him doing
Yeah,
Hitchcock and failing
that's a good
miserably.
one. Yeah. All right. Next, we have what is the best film you've seen in 3D?
Ooh, Tron Legacy. That's definitely my pick.
That's a good one. I saw the original, or not the original. I saw Tangled in 3D, and
That's a good
that
one
was an
too.
incredible, especially the lantern sequence was really good because I normally actually I have strabismus in my eye, and so it's hard for me to focus on 3D sometimes. I have a little bit of a lazy eye. You probably noticed in some videos, but I don't often go to 3D for that reason. But I do think that seeing Tangled in 3D was really great. So, all right. Next, we're almost done. Next is what's the most beautiful film in terms of cinematography?
Oh,
The most beautiful film. Um, hmm.
mm,
I I mean, I think Joe Wright in general. I don't know who his cinematographer is, but I think all of his films are really gorgeous.
yeah.
Um, so like his Pride and Prejudice is beautiful. Um,
Both the Blade Runner movies for me.
yeah, that's a good one. That is beautiful.
Like 2049 especially, but there's stuff in the first Blade Runner you could hang in like an art gallery.
Mhm.
Like the scene where Roy Batty gives his Tears in the Rain speech, that just hits me right where I
Yeah,
live.
that's the best part of that movie, for sure.
I've seen things that you people would not believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Nolan films are really he has great cinematographers that he works with, and so they're beautiful. Um, but I really love Far from the Maddening Crowd. I think that's very underrated. It's not a remake, but it's a new adaptation of the book, and I just love the way the camera works in that film. I mean, you have the classics too, something like Lawrence of Arabia, some of the greatest cinematography ever. So there's that. Um, Jacob says, my favorite 3D experience was the IMAX version of the Polar Express. So
I can see that.
that sounds very good. Okay. Next we have a movie that didn't meet your expectations.
Oh boy.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I can definitely. Honestly, the entire sequel trilogy, if we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to start that war here. But
I think there's some good things about them. I don't think I like them. I think better than you, but
there are good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I watched those movies and I was like, those are potentially good ideas. It just they had no interest in capitalizing on them.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely disappointing. There's no doubt about it. They're disappointing. Rogue One was actually really disappointing for me. Because I loved Force Awakens so much, and it was very messy in my opinion. I know people love it, but it's not my favorite. I mean, yeah, and Phantom Menace was super. Star Wars has just been disappointing my whole life. Also, because I loved Jurassic Park so much, and when I went to see The Lost World, that was incredibly disappointing to me. I haven't watched it again in years. It's been a long time. So I think since 2015, but that was very disappointing. The fourth Indiana Jones movie, that was very disappointing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, Wonder Woman 84 was disappointing.
Yeah,
I wanted that to be better. I really did. So that's some of them. A movie that exceeded your expectations. I would say Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'll give him a bone. That I didn't think I would like it. I mean, I'm always open, and I always will say if something I will, don't expect to like, I end up liking. And it is really long, and it has his style, but it was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
He made what he was planning to make.
Yeah.
And it eventually got released. I think that is a victory.
Yeah. So we have The Lost World. I think is super underrated. I especially love the trailer dangling over the cliff scene. That's the best part of that movie.
The best part of that movie, yes.
That is best. What about you? What's one that exceeded your expectations?
I think of this year, I would have to say Jackass Forever. I did not think that was going to be any good, but I was like laughing and crying and just like that movie was so funny. And I kind of felt bad for that I was laughing so hard at it, but then I was like, you know what? No, I've earned this.
Miss Marvel, the first episode alone exceeded my expectations. It's so cute. I loved Miss Marvel, the first 2 episodes. So that's good to hear that you enjoyed it. All right. Then we have, what is the best cinema experience that you've ever had? And I have to say, I think watching Endgame is probably the best cinema experience I've ever had. It was so fun. Everybody was so invested. Another one would be watching Belle at Animation is Film with the director there. And just everybody was just so vibing it and feeling it. And that was an amazing experience. Those are some.
I remember going to the Avengers at the midnight premiere, and that was just so much fun being in a packed theater when Hulk completely destroyed Loki and then walked away saying, "Puny God." Like that just destroyed all of us. And then 2 years prior was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. That was like my generation's like Endgame, so to speak.
That's a fun movie to see in a crowd. All right. What is the most surprising movie moment? And we just barely on Criterion Project, we just covered Wait Until Dark. And that movie has one of the best jump scares you'll ever see in a movie. I mean, most people hate jump scares. This is the one. This is one that does it good and does it right. And so I won't say any more because I don't want to spoil. But when it happens, everybody jumps in the theater. It's really fun.
For me, that would have to be in the movie Incendies from Denis Villeneuve. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Mm-mm.
Well, I won't spoil it, but just look up 1 + 1 = 1, and you will be shocked.
All right. Next, we have, what is the favorite dance sequence in a movie? The first one that comes to my mind is the "Don't Put Baby in a Corner" from Dirty Dancing. That's a whole great dance sequence. Also, I love in Tangled. Everybody knows how much I love Tangled, but that they have the celebration. I forget what they call it, but they have that whole extended dance sequence in the town when everybody's kind of celebrating. And I think it's so cool. I can't think of another animated film where there's just like a long sequence of dance. And so that's one of my favorites.
The prologue to the OG West Side Story is a particular favorite of mine, where it just
that's good.
Opens on the city and then it cuts to and then gets into the song. It's so well done.
Yeah.
It's ironic because we're going to be seeing that in just a little bit.
Kingdom Dance. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's really good. And then we have Saturday Night Fever. which is obviously a very iconic dance movie. So that's a good one. I think that it was underrated in the Heights, 96,000. That whole sequence was really great, I thought. But okay, last question is, what is the most disturbing movie you have ever seen? And I have to look it up. Wait, do you have one?
Well, I was going to say Incendies again, just for that one moment. However, I would have to go with Prisoners, another Denis Villeneuve movie, because that movie is just, it's very well made, but my goodness, that movie is just like, yeah, it stays with you for a while.
I've heard that one's really disturbing.
Yeah, if you all loved Paul Dano in the Batman, you will love him even more in Prisoners, because he is like, that's basically his Riddler audition tape, so to speak.
Yeah, I've heard that one is intense. There was a movie, I'm just looking it up, that we watched for Criterion Project that was so disturbing.
Was that the Wait Until Dark one?
No, that one's really good. It is, sorry. It's called A Woman Under the Influence. It's John Cassavetes, and it's about this woman who she is becoming increasingly unstable, and she ends up coming back from. She gets put into like a sanitarium, I guess. I would call it an asylum, and then she's coming out of it, and the way that her husband and her family treat her is just super disturbing and upsetting. And I don't use the word triggering often, but it's one that did kind of trigger me, and it was very upsetting to watch. And I don't know, I didn't care for it at all. I didn't think it had anything like interesting to say. I didn't think that it, like, why are we watching this horrible experience? Like, it didn't move me, or, it was just kind of like, yes, evil people and terrible people exist. Why am I watching this movie? So I did not like that at all. We have some more. The Dance Off in Passengers.
There was I'm sorry.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that movie, to be honest.
But we have A Soft Spot for Step in Time from Mary Poppins. That's a great one. That's a very, very, very good one. So, and I will always defend Triple Little Fantastic from Mary Poppins Returns. I thought that was magical, but there we go. I think that's the last question. So we did it. We answered all the questions.
Awesome.
And so thanks so much for people who listen. This was really fun. And maybe we'll even try to do another one of these before, because you're here until Thursday.
Yeah, just about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, let us
leave very early Thursday morning.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be fun if we could do, maybe when we get back from the last show on Wednesday, we could, talk about what we liked and have the shows. But anyway, we'll figure it out. Your thoughts on Woman Under the Influence sounds like my thoughts on Rosemary's Baby. I think they're actually were around the same time, so that wouldn't surprise me. And I haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, but because I try not to watch Polanski movies, he just grosses me out.
I mean, yeah. I watched it for my first Scary Mania just because I'd heard nothing but amazing things about it, and it's very well made, but you can't separate the art from the artist on that one.
Yeah. So thanks so much, everybody. And we'll hope you're all having a great weekend. And we'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.